Wir kommen zum nächsten Programmpunkt. Wir sind fast am Ende unserer wunderbaren Award-Verleihung. Aber für die nächste Kategorie, für die Travelbook Persönlichkeit 2023, bitten wir einen ganz besonderen Mann auf die Bühne. Er heißt Nuno Alves und ist der Chefredakteur der Books. Nuno, komm auf die Bühne. Schön, dass du da bist.
Nuno, du als Chefredakteur der Books und auch als Jurymitglied, vielleicht kannst du uns mal verraten, wie ihr genau entschieden habt, wer denn die Travelbook Persönlichkeit 2023 wird.
Wir haben natürlich nach Persönlichkeiten gesucht, die dieses Jahr was ganz Besonderes geleistet haben. Und da waren einige im Rennen, aber am Ende fiel dann die Wahl dann doch recht deutlich auf eine Person, die wir gleich verkünden werden.
Ich würde sagen, wir warten nicht mehr lange. Nuno, wer hat dieses Jahr die Persönlichkeit 2023 gewonnen?
Also ich mache das jetzt mal auf Englisch. Ich habe mir eine englischsprachige Rede vorbereitet. Der Programmpunkt davor passt sogar sehr gut, weil er so gar nicht passt zu der Persönlichkeit. Aber ich werde den Sieger jetzt verkünden. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I stand before you tonight with immense pleasure and a profound sense of honor as I have the privilege of presenting the Travelbook Personality of the Year Award for the very first time. Tonight we celebrate not just an individual, but a shared journey. Both the winner of the award and Travelbook embarked on their journeys almost simultaneously 10 years ago. On October 10th, 2013, as Travelbook released its inaugural articles, at precisely 10:10 a.m., a man set out on an adventure that would take him across the globe, only to return home a full decade later. His story is one that resonates with a dream held close to the hearts of many, the dream of exploring the entire world and getting to know new cultures. But what sets this man apart is that he didn't merely dream. He meticulously crafted a plan and executed it with unmatched enthusiasm, willpower, and determination. Most of us probably never placed a finger on every country on this earth on a world map. So even more impressive is his accomplishment of actually setting foot on the ground of every country and exploring every corner of our planet. Just try to imagine it. He has been to every one of your countries, every country you have traveled to or dream of visiting. And he did it without boarding an airplane. He set foot in 203 countries. He traveled to every one of them, spending at least some days and sometimes even weeks or years in them, as was the case when he was stuck in Hong Kong during the pandemic for almost 2 years. And what's even more impressive, at least for some of us, is that he managed to maintain a long-distance relationship with a woman he can now proudly call his ultra-wifey. It's far beyond the imagination of most of us to comprehend what this man must have experienced on his incredible 10-year adventure. In some of his interviews, he said, if we talk about the bad things, we can talk for hours. But if we talk about the good things, we can talk for months. Let's start that conversation tonight. And now, without further ado, and with the utmost respect, honor, and admiration, I would like to present the Travelbook Personality of the Year Award to Torbjørn Pedersen. Congratulations.
Also, mach erstmal ein Foto, mach erstmal ein Foto. Achso, du hast noch. Yes, okay.
Torbjørn, congratulations. Well deserved, I would say, right?
Thank you.
Big applause.
Tell us a little bit about your journey. You have a few months now to tell about.
Well, like everyone else up here, I would like to say thank you so much, and especially to the Travelbook team. I'm deeply honored to be here tonight. This is a neighboring country. I'm from Denmark, and a giant next to Denmark, obviously. We have close ties and close connections. I love Berlin. I've been to Berlin many times in my life. I've had the pleasure of running marathons twice, somewhere between the streets here down below the building. And I'm very happy to be back again. Uniquely, yesterday marked 10 years since I left home. And the first country I went to after Denmark was Germany.
Yay!
So now, 10 years later, exactly today, I'm back in Germany again. And I'm very honored to be receiving this award. And I'm very happy to hear the words that came from you. They touched me deeply. Thank you so much for your kindness.
Well deserved.
Torbjørn, tell us, what would you say on that long journey was the most impressive moments and also the most hardest moments in the journey?
We're talking about 10 years.
Yeah, but maybe you remember.
It has been hard not to give up. I think on the surface it may look like I've been living as a free man and it's an amazing thing to do. But in reality, there's a great deal of repetition, and you very rarely meet people who have traveled for much more than 6 years or a month, and sometimes you meet people who've traveled for a couple of years, but then they're ready to go home. They've been living out of a bag, they've been applying for visas, they've met so many people, and they're ready to go home and share their stories and regenerate their batteries. So I was gone for almost 10 years. That's well beyond 2 years. And it took a lot of strength to carry through. And then especially when the global pandemic hit us, I was on a ship on my way to Hong Kong. And this part of the world, where we are now, is the part of the world that opened up earliest and came out of the pandemic and came back to a sense of normal again. And I was in the part of the world that was the slowest to come out, with the Pacific Islands and with China and with Hong Kong. So I was stuck in Hong Kong for 2 years, and it gave me an overall delay of maybe 3 years. And every day within that was an opportunity to quit. And somehow I found the strength, with a lot of love from people all around the world, and a lot of encouragement and a lot of kindness, but to carry through and find my way all the way through back to home.
You did not quit, you came here. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Question.
Yeah, me too.
Did you set foot on an airplane again since
Yes, I did.
July?
Well, so ironically, I've been to the airport many times throughout the entire project because my wife, she came to visit me 27 times across the world, and I picked her up in airports. And then within the Caribbean, a couple of times I arrived on board ships to a port. And then I met these lovely Caribbeans who said, "We have no immigration here, go to the airport." So I came off the ship and I got my entry stamp at the airport nonetheless. But yes, my mother is from Finland and my father is from Denmark. And they split ways many years ago, and my mother moved back to Finland. So my first flight was to go up and see my mother. And I can tell you, every bone in my body was screaming against it. It had been so incorporated into my brain, staying away from the airplanes and the airport, that I felt like I was breaking some rules or I was doing something wrong. But after 15 minutes up in the air, it felt normal again.
You talked about your wife, you talked about seeing your mother again. Was there one thing which was your highlight, the highlight in the past 10 years?
Well, my wife would be greatly disappointed if I didn't say it was our engagement on top of Mount Kenya.
Wow.
Or it was good boy. We got married twice throughout the project. We got married the first time online, like through Zoom. This was during the pandemic, and I was stuck in Hong Kong, and she was in Denmark, and the only way I could have her come and visit me was if we were married. How do you do that if you're in 2 different countries? Well, it turns out that there's an agency in Utah where you can get married online. So she got married on December 19, and I got married on December 20 because of the time difference. And then we processed the paperwork, and she was able to come and see me.
Love that story.
Oh, wow. I can listen for hours. I can listen for hours. Thank you so much. Torbjørn, Pedersen, my dear ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much.
Thank you for the inspiration.
Wow.